Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to OPRC class, online Pali reading class, day 95. And today we are going to discuss the stanza before the last stanza in the Bhagavad. And with another lesson, we're going to finish Bhagavad. So before we start, let's pay respect to the book. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Today we are going to look at two stanzas because the story about the two stanzas the two stanzas are actually about one story. So then we have to cover the two stanzas, and these two stanzas are complementary. They connected with regard to the meaning. And the two stanzas were given with regard to a layperson called Chitta and a venerable monk, Sudamma. Chitta is one of the most important role models. There were two role models, lay Dayaka, I would say, lay male devotees. There were two role models with regard to two male devotees. One of them was Chitta, while the other one being what do you call Hattalaka. So these two were the role models with regard to mainly people. And then on the other hand, there were two role models with regard to two female devotees. We know them as Kujuttara and then Nandamata. So we will have to look at these figures too in the discussion. So first, let's take a look at the Pali stanzas as we usually proceed. Dhammapada 73 and 74. So first, let us take a look at 73, verse number 73. Asatang bhavana michaya purekkarang cha bhikkhuso avasesu cha isariyang puja para kulesu cha. Once again, asatang bhavana michaya purekkarang cha bhikkhuso avasesu isariyang puja parakule sucha. Because we want to save time, we will read the whole two stanzas together. So we will save time to discuss. Otherwise, we will have to take 2 rounds to recite. This is a little bit longer. Mameva kata manyantu. Mameva kata manyantu. Gihi pabbajita ubho. Mameva ativasa assu. Kiccha kicchesu kismichi. Itibalasa sankapo ichamano che vaddati. Once again, I'm going to read. Asatang bhavana michaya purikha rancha bhikkhusu avase sucha isarya puja parakule sucha. Mameva kata manyantu gihi pabbajita ubhu mameva ativasa asu kiccha kicche sukismachi iti balas sankapo icha mano cha vadati. So whenever someone reads, say for instance, someone from group 1, please read the book. So then we will save the time. All right, so somebody from group 1, Ms. Pauline, please. Would you mind unmute your audio? Yes, please.
Asantam bhavana michaya purikarang cha bikusu awasesu cha isariyang puja para kulesu cha mameva katamanyatu gihi pabajita ubo mameva atiwa sa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha mano cha wadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so someone from group 2. Yes, Susan, let's go ahead.
Oh, good evening, Bhante. Thank you.
Good evening.
Asantam bhavana michaya purakarancha bhikkhussu avasesu isariyam pujam parakulesu cha mameva kata manyantu gihi pabajita upho mameva tivasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sankapo icha mano cha vadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So, someone from group 3. Yes, Lisa.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Asatam bhavana michaya purekaran cha bhikkusu avasesu cha isariyam puja parakulesu cha mamiva kata manyantu mami kata manyantu gihi pabajita upho mamiva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha mano cha vadhati.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And
Bhante.
group 4, KB on is going to read.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asantam pavana michaya purekaran cha bikusu avasisu cha isariyam puja para kulesu cha mamewa kata manyantu gihi pabajita ubo mamewa ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sankapo icha mano cha vadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And someone from group 5. Yes, Melinda, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asantam bhavana michaya pure karancha bhikkusu ava sesu cha isariyam puja parakulesu cha mavewa kata manyantu gihi papajita ubo mavewa ativasa mamewa
No, I mean, there are 2 M. Me.
Okay. Mamewa ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha mano cha vadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Then group 6, TC we will going to read. Let's TC, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Asantang bhavana michaya. Pure karan cha bhikkusu avasesu cha irasiyang
Isariyang.
Isariyang. Puja para kulesu cha. Mamewa kata manantu. Ihi babajita ubo. Mamewa atiwasa asu. Kicha kichesu kismichi. Iti balasa sangkapo. Icha mano cha vidati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 7. Someone from group 7? Yes, Hema, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Asantam bhavana micheya purekaram cha bhikkhusu awa sesu cha isariyam puja purakulesu cha
Puja
mamewa
parakulesu.
parakulesu cha mamewa kata manyantu gihi papa jita ubo mamewa atiwasat asu kicha kichesu kismischi iti balasa sangkapo icha manocha wadati.
Okay, great. Yes, that's
Thank
the.
you, thank you,
Yeah.
Bhante.
And then group 8. Someone from group 8 can take this chance. Okay, if there is no one from group A. Oh, May, please. Are you from group?
Bhante, I'm not from group 8.
Okay, please.
Asatam Bhawana Micheya Pure. Please, Bhante.
Yeah, you are breaking up, so you want to start over?
Asatam Bhawana Micheya Pure Karan Chak Bikusu. Pure Karan Chak Bikusu. Awasesu Chak Isariyam. Puja para kulesuja mamewa kata maknantu. Gihi pabajita ubo makmewa ati wasa asu. Kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo. Icha mano cha wandanti.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And now we will be asking others. We will start with Sumana. Shelly, you can start off. Yeah. Yes, Shelly.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes,
Suki
please
Hantu
go.
Bhante.
Yes, Suki Hantu.
Mamewa kata manyantu kihi papacita ubo. Mamewa atiwasa asu. Kicha kichesu kismichi. Iti balasa sangkapo. Icha mano cha wadhati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And then we will be asking Chupan. Yes, Chupan.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Asantang Bhawana Micheya Pure Karang Che Bikusu Awa Sesu Che Isariang Puja para Kulesu Che Mamiwa Kata Manyantu Gihi Pabajita Ubo Mamiwa Atiwasa Asu Kicha Kichesu Kismichi Iti Balasa Sangkapo Icha Manu Che Wadati. Icha mano che wadati.
Wadati. Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, and then Siri.
Suki Hotu Bhante.
Suki.
Asantam Bhawana Micheya Pure Karan Che Bikusu Awa Sesu Che Isariyang Puja Parakulesu Che Mawewa Kata Manyantu
Mameva.
Mahmeva kata manyantu kihi pabacita ubo. Mamewa atiwa sa asu kicha ki chesu kismichi. Iti balasa sangkapo icha mano che wat dati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then Melin will take the chance. Yes.
Evening, Bhante.
Yeah.
Asatang bhavana micheya puri karang cha bhikkhusu avasesu cha isariyang puja para kulesu cha mamiva kata manyatu gihi pabajita ubo mamiva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha mano chavadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then sin form. Yes, sin
Thank you,
form.
Bhante. Asantam bhavana micheya pure karam chia bhikkhusu avasesu chia isariya puja para kulesu chia mameva kata manyatu yihi papacita ubo mameva ati vasas asu kicha kis chesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha manu cha vatati.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you.
then Pochu one, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Bhante. Asantam bhavana micheya purekarancha bhikkhusu avasesucha isariyang puja parikulesucha mameva katamanyantu kihi pavajita ubo mameva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha manova vadati.
Icha mano cha.
Cha. Icha mano cha vadati.
Okay, cha vadati. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. Vadati.
Great.
Vadati.
Then we'll be asking from Ching. Yes, Ching,
Good
please.
evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Asantang bhavana micheya pure karan cha bhikkhusu avasesu cha isarian puja parakulesu cha mameva kata manyantu gihi pabajita ubo maveva
There
ativasa
are two M's. Mameva.
mameva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha mano cha vadati.
Okay, great. And we have Rashmi. Yes, Rashmi.
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asantang bhavana micheya pure karancha bhikkhusu avasesu cha issariyang puja parakulesu cha mameva katamanyantu gihi pabachita ubho mameva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balassa sankappo icha mano cha vadhati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And the last one is Margaret. Yes, Margaret, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asantam bhavana micheya puri karam cha bhikkhusu avasesu cha isariyam puja para kulesu cha mameva kata manyantu Gihi pabba jita ubo. Mameva ativasa asu. Kicha kichesu kismichi. Iti balasa sangkapo. Icha manocha vadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
All right, so is anybody else would like trying to read? Take a moment of time. We decide later. All right, if there is nobody at this point would like to read other than the ones who read already, we will get into. Okay, so this is, can you recognize yourself? Because I can't understand the name properly. What's your name, please?
I'm Siuman Kut.
Yeah, oh, okay, yes, good. Please go ahead. Yes.
Asatang babanang ichaya purikairang che bikusu. Avasesu che itsariyang puja parukulesu che. Mameva kata manantu gihi pabajita ubo. Mameva tisvasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi. Iti balasa sangkapo icha manocha vadati.
Okay, great. And we have Corina. Please, Corina, please go ahead.
Evening, Bhante, everybody. Sorry, I'm late. Asatam Bhawana
Asantang, Asantang.
Asatam Bhawana Michaya Purikaram Cha Bikasu Avasesu Cha Irisariam Puja Para Kulesu Cha Mamiwa Kata Manantu Gihi Baba Jita Ubo Mamewa Atiwasa Asu Kicha Kichesu Kisiminchi Iti Balasa Sangkapo Icha Mano Cha Wadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Nayan Chen, please. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Asantang bhavana nichaya pure karang cha bhikkhusu avasesu cha isariyang puja parakulesu cha mameva kata manyantu gihi papajita ubbo mameva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi iti balasa sangkapo icha manocha badati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Finally, Padma, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asantang bhavana michaya pure karang cha bikusu avase sucha isariyang puja parakulesu cha mameva kata manyantu ihi pabajita ubo mameva ativasa asu kicha kichesu kismichi itibalas sangkapo icha manocha vadati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Auntie.
All right. Now, can we understand the context of this? I mean, these two stanzas. In the last many stanzas in this Balabanka, what we've been discussing was that anybody can become a Bala. I mean, we were looking at someone who is not specifically a lay person or a monastic. Now, in this stanza, it clearly says, these two stanzas clearly show that even this unwise nature can get into a Sangha member. who is not enlightened enough. So that means Bala nature is not specific only for a lay person. This can even get into Sangha members, especially with regard to temple administration and then Vihara administration and then running a temple, running a society and all that. So this is what Buddha is saying. And then the Sangha member who is going to be the topic of this story is Venerable Sudamma. And then the main Dayaka is Chittagahapati. So this is the story. So let us take a look at how can a spiritual, so-called spiritual person get to think as an unwise person. Asantang bhavana miche. This is the Pali word we have to understand. Iche. So wishing. So there is a Sangha member who is wishing. What is that Sangha member wishing? Asantang bhavana. Asantam means non-existing stuff. Bhavana miche. So a Sangha member, unenlightened, not enlightened ones. Unenlightened Sangha member may wish to cultivate what is not existing. What do we mean by what is not existing? What is non-existing here? Let's say you start a temple, but the ownership of the temple, ownership of the vihara, especially, it's a cooperative effort. But if anybody who started as such and then finally get into a certain impermanent, permanent ownership mentality, that could be a wish that particular person, Sangha member, is wishing with regard to what is not existing, right? And then Purekarancha bhikkhu. So there are some other activities are also happening at the same time. When that idea comes into the mind of that particular unenlightened Sangha member, there are some other thoughts are also going around. What's the first thought? Purekarancha bhikkhu. So I want to be the priority among other monks and nuns, presidents. Purekara means presidents, priority. I want to be the priority with regard to Sangha members. Second thought with regard to this kind of a unenlightened Sangha member is avase sucha issariyam. Issariyam means ownership, maybe the leadership, maybe the management. And avase sucha issariyam. I want to be the leader with regard to monasteries, viharas, kutis, forest monasteries, you name it. So avase sucha issariyam. Now, don't misunderstand that there are so many unenlightened Sangha members who are running temples beautifully. This is not a problem with regard to them. But what is happening is that if an unenlightened Sangha member is trying to create a very much, a thought clung to these administrations. This is what it says. An unenlightened Sangha member who is having a lot of unwholesome thoughts with regard to the ownership of that particular place. Third is not even that. Puja parakulesu. Parakulesu means, now kule, what is kulesu? Families. Kulesu, devotees. Every temple has a membership. Right? That temple has a membership. That means certain devotees go to that temple. But parakulesu means other devotees, not that membership. Membership, devotees who are not in the membership, outside that membership of the vihara, because the membership knows what is going on. Now, this is about the membership, the devotees who don't know what's going on. They are not coming to the temple. Maybe they just stop by once in a while. So they don't know what's happening in the vihara, right? So now the third thought that such an unenlightened Sangha member may have is that may the people who are not in the membership know that then we will understand what happened. That Mameva katamanyantu gihi pabbajitavan. The rest is going to be applied to that. Puja parakulesu. So the unenlightened Sangam is expecting the other dayakas who are not in the membership respect me and know this thing. Mameva katamanyantu. May they know that I am the one who started, who constructed this particular place. Katamanya. Manyantu means manyantu. May they know. May you know. May you know. May they know. May he know. May she know this idea. Mameva kata. But may they know that I am the person who started. Who are the people? Gihi, Pabbajita, Ubho. Ubho means both. In Pali, Ubho means both. Gihi and Pabbajita. Gihi means lay people. This is the name for your category. Gihi means lay people. Why lay people are called as Gihi in Pali? G-I-H-I. Why? Gihi. How does it arise? I mean, how does it come from? That Pali word, G-I-H-I. That's the name for you. Pabbajita means monks, contemplatives. We will find out that name too. The literal meaning. G-I-H-I.
Householder, Bhante. Lay person.
Yeah, I'm asking, how does this Pali word G-I-H-I, where does it come from? If you go to the roots.
From the root Gah.
There's a Pali word called Geha, G-E-H-A. Maybe I'm going to
House.
type it under the, yeah, Geha. This is the Pali. Geha means house. Pali Geha means house. People who are living in a Geha is Gihi. Gihi means someone who lives in a house. Right? This is the idea. That's how you are called as Gihi. Right? You might call it devotees, but devotees are that name is taken from devotion. Right? But the Pali word is Gihi. Pabbajita means the Pali word Pabbajita come from
Renounce, is it?
wanderers. Wanderers. That English, a lot of people translate this to be renunciants. Yes, overall they have renounced the household. But the Pali word Pabbajita come from wandering people, because monks and nuns cannot stay in one temple. Right? That was how the Buddha and monks stayed. They have to, that's why Buddha asked monks and nuns to stay in a particular temple for particular temple for 3 months during the Vassa. So what does it mean for other 9 months? Where are they supposed to be? They're supposed to be traveling. Right? That's the idea. Earlier, they have to travel 365 days. But when he was informed by other people, why are you monks spreading Dhamma everywhere all the time? Why can't they stay in a temple? Then the Buddha said, okay, stay in a temple for 3 months. Vassa time. Other 9 months, they have to travel village to village, state to state, country to country, because this Dhamma message must be delivered. When you stay in one place, you can't do it. Now what's happening is that if you take the Vassa in 3 months, you're going to stay in the next 9 months also in the same temple. Because of this cultural things, right? That's what's happening. The real Vassa is that the monk is a traveling monk. So Pabbajita means the one who is wandering, traveling. This is the idea. Okay. So then later on, this figurative name called renunciant, maybe renouncing idea. When you become a monk, you already renounce. But that doesn't show what you are doing as a renunciant. The Pali word Pabbajita comes from what you are doing with regard to your renunciation. What you are doing. You are supposed to travel. You are supposed to spread the Dhamma message far and wide. That's why when Buddha had to address the first 60 monks, right? First 60 monks means 5 ascetics, and then Yasa, and Yasa's 54 friends. When he addressed them, the Buddha said, Charata bhikkhave charikang bahujana hitaya bahujana sukhaya. Monks, you have to travel for the sake of greater good. Ma ekena dve agamitta. No two monks go in one way. You have to spread around. Don't, not two monks go on one way. Because when you go as an individual, you can approach as many people as you can. That's what was the plan. Actually, Buddhist Sangha members are the best missionary, but later on they were not missionary as much as how it was supposed to be. They stayed in one place. And then they only cater to, I mean, you have to do that too, because with the cultural needs, but we should not forget about that original idea which the Buddha established with regard to Sangha members. So then, the Sangha member will stay during the Vassa time in many temples. This year in this temple, that year in other temple, so giving the message. Right? So the Pali word gihi means the one who is staying in a house. Pabbajita means the one who is wandering, right? Wandering for the benefit of many. So then what's happening now? Now this is about that unenlightened monk who is unwise and thinking that understand everybody, lay people, other monks, nuns. I am the one who created all this temple and all that. Not even that. Mameva ativasa asu, the whole administration is under me. Right? Ativasa. Let them be under my control alone. Nobody else is commanding here. It's me. I'm controlling everybody. Did the Buddha say something like that to his Sangha members? Did he ever say that all you are under me? Did he show any possessive leadership with regard to his administration? No, he was such a very liberal person, right? Even when monk Devadatta was doing all the bad things, he never asked him to leave the temple. He left by himself, but he never asked, you have to go away from my temple. No? He wanted to make a problem among other Sangha members, and he left. But Buddha never asked him to leave. Right? Venerable Channa was making a mess among other Sangha. He never asked him to go. He never chased him out. He can't do that. He's a Buddha. Buddha is the one who has lots of compassion. When someone is so much compassionate, it will never happen. But in a modern day temple, when dealing with certain issues, there are certain parameters. We understand that because not the Buddha is there as the head monk. But we are learning from the ideal life of the Buddha here. So now an unenlightened monk who is unwise is thinking that may all the other families, monks, nuns, should know that I am the one who is behind all this success. But if the other people find out this thing on their own, it's okay. What if that you are trying to tell them, I am the one who did it. I am the one who established that. That is an unwise thought, according to this. Not even that. Administration is mine. Kiccha, kitchesu, kismichi. What kind of administration? Kiccha, kitchesu, kismichi, kisming, not kiss, kismichi. In matters, great, small. Kitcha, great, small matters, whatever they may be. All those small, great matters are under me. Now in management and leadership, we learn a lot of concepts. Authoritative leadership, that someone is always become a bossy person, like you must do this, you should do this. But we understand that the Buddha's leadership is a facilitative leadership. He's not controlling anybody. He let people, he deputized people, monks and Sangha members. He asked people to take a role. You take a role. I don't want to control any monk. I just give you the particular advice. I just give you the guidance. I don't have to control anybody. How to control spiritual things? Is it possible to control spiritual things? No. the meditation, ethics, sila. It's very difficult to do that. But what we can do is asking people to do this and that. But what will happen to their inner transformation? We can't control that. So Buddha wanted them to self-transform, become self-disciplined, self-motivated without become a bossy person. So according to our understanding, he encouraged this facilitative leadership. That means he's encouraging other Sangha members, even nuns, monks, to take a role, and he deputized. In the ways of deputization, Sangha leadership really went well. But unfortunately, all the chief disciples, two chief disciples had passed away before he was going to pass away. So nobody was going to take the management. Our Sariputta Moggallana already had passed away when he was going to pass away. So he could not see any successor. He just told monks and nuns, when I pass away, your teacher will become the Dhamma and Vinaya. Right? I cannot appoint anybody. But what happened? Venerable Kassapa was on the way at that point, right? So anyways, here what we need to understand is that the nature of an unenlightened Sangha member who is not wise, who is unwise. And this is the nature of the thoughts that that particular Sangha member may have. And Buddha says this is none other than a thought of an unwise person. Bala Sankappo. This is a Bala Sankappo. Right? Now you may understand earlier we said who is a Bala? May I know how I explain to you how we learn Bala? We said if someone is
who's always have the akusala thoughts.
Akusala thoughts, speech and action.
But apparently this kind of a Sangha member does not make an akusala, right? He does not kill anybody. She does not kill anybody. Yeah, I think they are not akusala on the surface level, but they are akusala. Why they are akusala? Even if you establish a temple with the support of devotees, donors and devotees, but you still think that I am the owner. And everybody should know that this is one type of abhijja, covetousness. Covetousness does not mean that I have a house, I have money and all that, I am so much attached to that. It is also coming to the spiritual adventure, spiritual activity. Say, for instance, someone make a meditation center, and then maybe the donor, maybe the Sangha member is always bragging about what went through. It will lead up to the covetousness, avijja. So not even our personal bad virtues, but also spiritual matters can also lead to become an unwise person. This is what we are learning. And now what is happening at the end? This kind of thinking will lead to a very dangerous situation. What is the dangerous situation? Icha mano cha vardhati. All these situations will lead that Sangha member to develop icha mano. Icha means unwholesome desire, and mano, conceit. These are the two things that will continue within the mind of that Sangha member. Let us see the both in one translation. The unwise one wishes to cultivate what is not truly real existing. He or she seeks precedence priority among the monks and nuns, desires leadership in the monastery, and longs for honor respect in the households of lay people, thinking let both householders and monastics alike believe this was done only by me. Let them all be under my control in every matter. This is interesting. Have you ever seen, not Sangha members, even some normal people, when they are running a business, something, they always want to know every small thing, right? This can lead to a little bit of pressure among the employees as well. And then finally, the owner will become a person who is always hearing gossip from other people, rumors, gossip. And the institution will not smoothly run. Everybody is scared. The owner wants to know every single thing. Even a pen was dropped from one table, he or she wants to know what happened. So everybody's scared. So how does this institution go ahead? Right? So that bossy nature, that gossiping, being willing to know all that, this is what we understand by here. In every matter, great or small, is indulges in such thought. In this way, the mind of the unwise, preferably an unwise unenlightened Sangha member, an unwholesome desire, what you call icha and conceit mana, going to develop. Chitta Gahapati Bhakti. Okay, so we have to discuss an interesting aspect at this point. We will have to look at the story also in a moment of time. Now, we learn here another Pali word. What is that Pali word? Can we discuss that Pali word a little bit? Okay, what is that? Sankappo. This Pali. Iti balassa sankappo. Have you ever come across this Pali word before? Sankappo.
And the eight noble paths.
In the noble eightfold path.
Yeah, right thought.
Right thought. Then there should be a wrong thought too, right? Now we call it Samma Sankappa is the right thought. And then Micha Sankappa is the wrong thought, right? So definitely this kind of thought is Micha Sankappa, right? Actually, when someone properly created the place, that person is supposed to deputize the things and should be very happy when other people take the leadership, right? That is the Buddhist way, right? That should be the way. So Sankappa means here thought, but here definitely this is an unwise thought. Let us take a look at the note now. Can you all see the note here? You can see it, right?
Yes.
The Anagami lay disciple Chitta and the unenlightened monk Sudama, Dhammapada 77. I actually added this thing just to separate out what's going on. Chitta and then monk Sudama. What happened here? Let us first understand some of the observation about Chitta Gahapati. Chitta Gahapati. Chitta Gahapati initially, okay, maybe I have to give you the background here. Chitta Gahapati was living in the Magadha state. Okay? And the Shakyamuni Buddha was living in the in the Kosala state. So there is a distance. The Kosala and Savatthi was a city in the Kosala, and then Magadha has Rajagaha. That's another city. I think you know that the Buddha got his first temple from the Magadha. What happened was that Chitta Gahapati was able to meet a monk called Mahanama. He is not a normal one. Arahant Mahanama. Who is this Mahanama? This is one of the five ascetic monk, right? Who are the five ascetic monks? In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Kondanya, Vappa, Baddiya, Mahanama, Assaji. Right? Now we know Arahant Sariputta and Arahant Moggallana met Arahant Assaji. That is how they became Sotapanna and monks later on, chief disciple. Now, Chitta met Arahant Mahanama. He was very happy to see him. And then what happened? He learned some Dhamma under him. And then he even donated a temple, his own mango grove to Arahant Mahanama and some other monks. But Arahant Mahanama is not staying in one temple. He's traveling. He's an Arahant monk. He's traveling for giving Dhamma for others. So what happened? In the meantime, there was another monk came to the temple called Venerable Sudam. So then Chitta Gahapati is a Sotapanna, but the monk in the temple is an unenlightened monk who has even not come to the Sotapanna. That's why I was trying to highlight in many discussions that there were many occasions where lay people are more enlightened than the Sangha members. I mean, I'm not saying just to put anybody down. I'm telling you Enlightenment will come to you not because what you wear. You may wear white clothes. Sangha member may wear robes, but that does not help them to come to the enlightenment. Enlightenment is a mental process. It is a process, cultivation process. You may not need to become a monk for that, right? And also, Sangha members should not think that anybody who is not a Sangha member cannot go to enlightenment. Right? So, what happened? Chitta was a Sotapan after listening to Arahan Mahanama. And Venerable Sudamma was an unenlightened monk. Let us say that he is practicing in his own way. And then every day, Chitta used to serve Venerable Sudamma in a way. Brought dana to the temple and offered to this Venerable Sudamma. After a long time, Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana, the chief disciples of the Buddha, made a visit to this place. Actually, they overheard about the good qualities about this Dayaka, Chitta. So they wanted to come to this temple. So he was very happy because Venerable Sariputta Moggallana, the Arahants, chief disciples. So he was thinking, okay, I can learn something more than what I learned from Venerable Mahanama. Ever since that Venerable Sudamma heard that Arahan Moggallana and Arahan Sariputta coming on the way, he was not happy because this Dayaka is getting ready for welcoming the chief disciples. And then what happened when the Arahan Moggallana and Sariputta came to the temple, Ambavana, I think it is said that he went far to welcome them, and he brought them to the temple. And then he invited the Arahan Moggallana and Arahan Sariputta over to his house with other 500 monks. But anyways, Chitta Gahapati, householder, could not invite the in-house monk, in-resident monk personally. Maybe he forgot that, sometimes people can forget, right? So he was not happy about it. So the next day, that means the day that now Dana is going to happen, he went earlier, when Sudama went earlier, and then said he wanted to check how he's making Dana. And then he said, I would leave. I'm not coming to your Dana. Right? Kind of a challenge. He said, why are you not coming to Dana? You are a resident monk. You have to, you need to stay here, right? No, you did not invite me personally. And then he said some other things that are not happy to him. But anyway, Chitta Gahapati is a Sotapanna. He didn't say anything wrong. So the monk left. And he not even left the house. He went to Savatthi to see the Buddha. He went to Savatthi and he complained to the Buddha. The two chief disciples went to my temple, and now the Chitta Gahapati is behaving in a different way. And the Buddha already understood Chitta Gahapati is a Sotapanna. He has no problem. And then the Buddha patiently listened to him, and he asked him, the Venerable Sudamma, go back and apologize to Chitta Gahapati. First time we hear the Buddha is asking a monk to apologize from a lay person. Does it normally happen? I think it's not normally happening in this what do you call in this hierarchical system, because Buddha understood this lay person is not a normal lay person. It's a Sotapanna. When you become a Sotapanna, you may wear a robe, somebody may wear a robe, but may not be a Sotapanna. That person is higher than you with regard to enlightenment. And then he said, okay, because he can't say no to the Buddha. He went back and then he apologized to Chitta Gahapati on another date. But Chitta Gahapati did not forgive him right away. He took some time. Maybe he wanted him to understand what he did. And then what happened? After hearing the Dhamma talk, which was given by Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana, he became an anagami person. Now, earlier he was a Sotapanna from Venerable Mahanama. See what happened. After he heard Dhamma from the two chief disciples, he became an anagami. So he heard from Arahan Moggallana and Sariputta about more information about the Buddha. And he said, I would like to see the Buddha The interesting thing here is, this is very interesting, Chitta Gahapati became a Sotapanna even without seeing the Buddha in person. And he attained Anagami, non-returner, even without seeing the Buddha. That's a very interesting situation. So he said to both of them, I really want to see the Buddha. So I'm going to bring 500 cartloads of food to offer to the Buddha. It will take some time to go to Savatthi from Magadha state. And then what happened? They started going to Savatthi and they went. And then when he went, and then the Buddha gave this Dhamma talk with regard to Venerable Sudamma's situation. But what happened at the end? Venerable Sudamma also attained Nibbana. See, unwise person can become a wise person in a moment of time. But the story is with regard to his earlier behavior. So this is the story. But now let us learn a bit of Chitta Gahapati again. We discussed that he attained a Sotapanna through Venerable Mahanama's, Arahan Mahanama's teaching, and he donated the his mango grove. He attained Anagami after hearing Dhamma talk from chief disciple. This is interesting. You know, Buddha designated certain people, lay people and monks and nuns, into certain abilities. So when he was designating certain, like such as Arahan Sariputta and Arahan Moggallana will become my chief disciples. Okay, not that 5 ascetics can become my chief disciple. Right? They can also make an argument. Why somebody who came late? And the Buddha said, no, you are not deserving for that position. You have to be karmically deserving for that position. You may be with me earlier, but you don't deserve for that job, that particular position. Sariputta Moggallana deserve for that. That's why Buddha did not designate anybody just because he knew he has been knowing someone for a long time. This was the very problem Channa had. His driver, later on he became a monk. Channa always blamed the Buddha. I'm the one who supported you. I brought you to the place, forest, and I gave you the robes, but now you are not giving me anything. Right? You are making me a normal monk here. The Buddha said the same thing. I'm not giving any position just because I know that person. I have to check if that person is really deserving for that job position. In the same way, Buddha did a thorough research with regard to his membership, assembly, monks, nuns, laymen, laywomen. In that search, he appointed 4 people with regard to role models, who are the 2 male devotees role models, who are the 2 female devotee role models. Now you might think about Vishaka. No, Vishaka was not one of them. Another Pindika is neither as well. So he said, this Chitta Gahapati and the other one is, as you can see here, Chitta Gahapati and Hattaka of Alavi, they are going to be the 2 role models for all the male devotees. Actually, in one of the suttas, this sutta, Buddha is saying, as you can see here, in the Ekaputta Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 17.23, and the Ekadita Sutta, SN 1724, the Buddha taught that if a son remains a householder, I think most of the people we have in this society, Buddhist society, they have sons. His mother should wish him to be like Chitta or Hattaka. So son's role model should be Chitta or Hattaka. And if a daughter remains a householder without becoming a nun, she should wish her to become like Kujjuttara and Nandamata. They are the role models for laywomen. For laymen, Chitta and Hattaka. Right? So that's pretty interesting. These 2 suttas are saying that Chitta and Hattaka, they are the role models of every
Lay devotees.
layman. So every layman must become like Chitta or Hattaka. Every laywoman must be like Kujjuttara or Nandamata. So now if you are really not confused, if you are confused about your devotee nature, you can learn about Kujuttara. You can learn about Nandamata. If you are a male, you can learn about Chitta. You can learn about Hattaka. So this is very interesting to learn. But on the other hand, Buddha also said that among my lay people, layman, laywoman, I'm going to appoint 2 people who can give a very good Dhamma talk. Lay Dhamma speaker. Who are my best lay Dhamma speakers? Male, one of them, and female. Here you can see foremost lay Dhamma speaker. The Buddha himself declared Chitta to be the foremost layman in expounding the Dhamma. So Chitta is the top layperson among all the other male devotees who can give a very good Dhamma talk, because he's an anagami person. And what about the female side? Kujuttara. Kujuttara is the best when giving a Dhamma talk as a laywoman. Kujuttara, the Pali name Kujuttara means she has a hunchback. She had a hunchback. So she's always like not straight. And then the Dhamma teachings say that why she got a hunchback. It's not a irregular posture that she maintained. In one of her life, she saw a Pacceka Buddha who is hunchback. And later on that day, she wanted to show someone, this is the Pacceka Buddha. This is how the Pacceka Buddha was sitting in that place. That was a bad karma. And she was impersonating a Pacceka Buddha, showing, this is how Pacceka Buddha was sitting in that seat. And then in a later life, she was hunchback. Very interesting. Huh? When you see someone is not doing well, deform, never ever impersonate. It will come to you. Just like Kujuttara. She became a Sotapanna later, but still that hunchback nature was with her. So anyways, now we understand Chitta was the best, the top person among male Dhamma speakers in giving a Dhamma talk. And where are the sources with regard to Chitta? If you go to Samyutta Nikaya, there's a Samyutta called Chitta Samyutta. See that? Chitta Samyutta. This is, I have actually a hyperlink here. You can click on this. It will go to the, maybe I'm going to show you. Just click on this. It will go to the Chitta Samyutta. There are, yeah, you can see. If you click on this link, it will go to all the suttas. There are, I think, 10 suttas. All these suttas are about Chitta. So you can read them whenever you get a chance. So, most of these suttas were Dhamma talks given by Chitta, not the Buddha, but Buddha later on accepted. Right? And how was the last moment of Chitta, his final teaching before he passed away? In his last moment, that was the 10th sutta. If you click on here, you can see Gilana Sutta, I think. Yeah, Gilana Sutta. You can see that when urged by Deva to wish for universal monarch, this is an ideal kingship in Buddhist cosmology, Chitta rejected such worldly wishes, declaring them impermanent. Instead, he instructed his relatives and friends who were near his deathbed to place unshakable confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and to practice generosity toward the virtuous. He emphasized that at death, one should recollect the triple gem, or if not possible, at least maintain unwavering trust in them throughout life. This is a very interesting advice. Now, you are always concerned, what should I do when I'm going to die? If I know, not about mindfulness, not about anything. You must think about the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, 6 great qualities of the Dhamma, and 9 great qualities of the Sangha, 24 Tiratana qualities. And Chitta passed away by advising them. Because when Chitta was going to pass away, a lot of devas gathered there and asking him, can you wish to become a universal monarch? He said, why should I become universal monarch? That is also impermanent, right? I have to die one day from that. I don't want to be, because... And then when he said this thing to devas, his relatives and friends overheard, and they said, I think you are not mindful. You are now babbling here. No, 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 I'm mindful. I don't want to become a universal monarch. Then he said, even for you, you have to have unshakable trust with regard to Buddha Dhammas. Unshakable. There's a lot of devotees, they have trust about the Buddha Dhamma, but they are not unshakable. That trust is not unshakable. How to get to the unshakable trust of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha? Only by attaining Sotapanna. The Buddha says in many suttas, only a Sotapanna can have an unshakable trust with regard to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. What's the Pali word? Avechapasa. This is the Pali word for that. That is only relevant to a Sotapanna. Avechapasa. That means unshakable trust. I'm typing for you with regard to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. All right. So let's move on from there onwards. Okay, what we can learn from the story, in short, even monks, nuns may need to apologize to enlightened lay disciple. I mean, don't take it as something that you should be over happy. I mean, definitely in spiritual journey, we should never do anything wrong to anybody. So if we had done something like that, we have to apologize, purify us with that particular person. And second, jealousy corrupts the mind even among monastic practitioners, monks and nuns. When Chitta offered hospitality to Arahan Sariputta and Arahan Moggallana before Venerable Sudamma, the latter's resentment revealed how deeply jealousy can corrode even a monastic mind. That's why I said we hope that Sangha members are in a much better handling of the mental states, but there may be times it might not happen. So, because they are Putujjanas too, in a way. Ordination is not a protection from unwholesome states. Monks and nuns may still struggle with defilements, kilesa, until they are fully uprooted. So, how should you look at monks and nuns? You have to be very compassionate. Whenever you see a small mistake from a Sangha member, how come he does like that? Don't go to that judgment right away. Have some compassion for them. Let them figure out their own problem. But normally, now this society is that one side has to be impeccable. The other side is having some subject to making some mistakes. No, if you are unenlightened, you still will create problems within yourself. So let us be very compassionate, not try to make judgments right away. Right? Not making judgments faster is our mindfulness practice, right? That is what we are saying. Being mindful without judging, right? So that's what we have to look at with regard to Venerable Sudamma. Jealousy is particularly dangerous because it masks itself as self-righteousness. Venerable Sudamma believed he was defending his dignity when in fact he was succumbing to envy. Isa. The Buddha consistently taught the antidote, mudita. This is very interesting, mudita. This is the antidote for the jealousy, rejoicing in others' success and honor. Think about when Venerable Sariputta Moggallana going to come to his temple, he could have been happy. What is the problem? Right? He could have been happy. May my devotees take care of chief disciples or any other monk or not. Maybe that could have helped him to attain Nibbana, maybe, yeah? He would have attained enlightenment, right? But it was not what happened because his mind was always thinking, I am the one who started this place later on. I am the one who is running this place. So all the dignity, all the support that should be invested, directed at me. That was Icha Man, according to these two stanzas. For lay followers, Gihi, this lesson is practical indeed, like when a colleague, relative, or fellow devotee is honored. The wholesome response is to rejoice rather than compare. Jealousy binds us to suffering, but mudita frees the heart. Third, lay people can attain, I think this one we have to discuss a little bit more. Some might not know a lot about this section. Lay people can attain high stages of awakening enlightenment without becoming monks and nuns. Chitta became a Sotapanna after hearing Arahant Mahanam, and later an Anagami after listening to Arahant Sariputta, Arahant Moggalla. You know, under the Chitta Samyutta, there are some humorous things happening. Chitta Gahapati goes to the temple, and he's listening to how monks are giving a Dhamma talk. Now he's an Anagami, right? Definitely his knowledge, his wisdom is far better than Sangha members unenlightened. So one day there was a Dhamma talk that was given by a Sangha member, maybe Sangha members. They were talking fetters. What's the Pali word for fetters? Sanyojana. Because fetter means that they are enchaining us into this sansara. So he was listening to this Dhamma talk. So one monk is saying, eye is the fetter, because through my eye, I am getting the sight. And the other monk said, no, eye is not the fetter. Sights are the, forms are the fetter. Another monk said, no, fetter is ears. Another monk said, fetters are sounds. So Chitta Gahapati was patiently speaking. He is the greatest lay Dhamma speaker. At the end, he was very humbly, respectfully telling his version. That is actually Buddha's version, Anagami. He said, eye or sight is not the fetter. The fetter means the Chandaraga, the lustful desire that is arising because of the pair, eye and sight. Eye is not the fetter. Sound is not the fetter. So sense faculties are not the fetters. Or sense objects are not the fetters. The fetter arises when we have the lustful desire with regard to any pair. Any pair means eyes and seeing. So that Chandaraga is the fetter. Actually, if we look at more information with regard to this idea, we know that what I am saying with regard to my eyes, let's say I see a beautiful thing. Then I'm thinking it is, the fetter is my eyes. So I must close my eyes. Next time I don't want to see that person. I don't want to see that particular scenario. Actually, eyes are not the problem. That person is not the problem. It is my hidden, lustful desire that is arising because of that pair. That is what I had to make sure. So Chitta Gahapati was saying this to Sangha members. They all agreed. This is exactly what the Buddha said. So, and then he was using an analogy with cows, what you call white cow and the black cow. White cow and the black cow chained with one chain. Then he's asking, why is the white cow is chained? Is it because of the black cow? Why is the black cow is chained? Is it because of the black cow, the other cow? No, it is because they are all chained in one chain. That one single chain is Chandaraga. So we have to overcome Chandaraga, lustful desire. Right? Now, may I ask you, what is Chanda? Chanda. Is it bad? Chanda is not bad. Why? Let us take a look at that part here so you will understand more. The Pali word Chanda. Chanda. Chanda is good, but the problem is Chandaraga is the problem. Because it's a rag. This is the problem, Chandaraga. As you can see here, his wisdom was so profound that in the Sangyojana Sutta SN 41.1, I think I haven't been able to hyperlink that, maybe later. He explained to the monks that it is not the senses themselves, but the lustful desire, Chandaraga, arising from their contact that fetters beings. Just as oxen are not bound by each other, but by the yoke. This shows that householders too can penetrate deep truths. And who are the other enlightened lay people? Vishaka, one of the foremost, very popular women in the Buddhist history. She was a Sotapanna. And Visakha There's no upper bar here. Who is Visakha? Visakha was an anagami. Visakha was the husband of Dhammadina, one of the bhikkhunis. And she became a monk, a nun, and attained Nibbana. And her husband was an anagami. And then later on, they have a very beautiful discussion. Earlier, they had different discussions. But then when Dhammadina became a nun, husband goes to see the ex-wife. And they're having a very interesting, very ultra-Dhammic discussion that was given in the Chula Vedala Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. You may see. So at that point, husband is an anagami and wife is an arahant. But here we are talking Visakha because he was still an anagami. And we talk about Hattaka. Hattaka means Alavi. Hattaka was popular for one other reason. Hattaka was the foremost layman who can organize, who can bring many people into the temple. If the Buddha asks him, we are having an opportunity event, he can bring many people to the temple. Can any devotee do that? Not every devotee can do that. But when Hattaka calls his volunteers, he can bring many people into the camp. And the Buddha gave the designation, Hattaka is one of the role models, as well as he is the most capable person in bringing many people into any event in the temple. And at the same time, he is an anagami. And Nandamata, the second role model, female layperson, Nandamata, anagami. Kujuttara, Sotapanna. Uggasena, Arahant, layperson. Bahya Daruchirya, we discussed that. Remember when we did our Mata meditation at Mahavihara, we discussed about this Bahya Daruchirya. He was a layperson. He became an Arahant. At the same time, he was attacked by a cow. He passed away as an Arahant without any robe on his body, in his body. So we can say still a layperson in a way. And Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita, Sotapanna couple. And Sarakani, very interesting man. Huh? The Buddha said when Sarakani passed away in the Samyutta Nikaya, Sarakani was a Sotapanna. Then the Shakyans were complaining to Buddha. Sarakani was a drinking man. Every day he was drinking alcohol. How come he became a Sotapanna? Then the Buddha said, now don't misunderstand. Huh? It doesn't mean that even an alcoholic person can become a Sotapanna. Sarakani has developed trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. He has followed and he has worked on his Sakkaya Ditthi Vicikicca Silapata Paramasa over the course of time, and he quitted the drinking habit slowly and he became a Sotapanna. So he was a Sotapanna. So in this way, there are lots of lay people whom you can learn. That your role models can be Chitta or Hattaka, or as a lay woman, Kujuttara and Nandamata. There are so many. I only pinpointed a couple of them. There are so many people who became Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, sometimes Arahant. So being a layperson does not preclude you in becoming an enlightened person. It will never prevent you in becoming enlightened. Don't think that you must become a monk or not. That's a misunderstanding. That's a huge, huge misunderstanding if you were taught that way, because we have so many role models, so many stories with regard to the Buddha's life story. And then moving on, seeing the Buddha in person was not a requirement for Chitta. We understand what happened. Number 5, karma ripens across lifetime. We know what happened to Chitta, why Chitta was able to be like this, because in a past life, he was able to offer dana all the way. That was why he was like this. Generosity brings honor naturally. Chitta has been very generous all the way. Even an unenlightened Sangha member was trying to trouble his generosity. He was still doing the generosity. He was not moved away by any challenge. He was continuing without making a problem. His dana was not affected by anybody. Forgiveness and reconciliation are vital. This is something interesting. Initially, Chitta did not forgive Venerable Sudama despite the Buddha's request, illustrating how even an enlightened person, layperson, may struggle with pride. This is something interesting. What do you think? Why he couldn't forgive him? there are certain fetters that are going to be overcome by people when they are going to certain enlightenment stages. Let's say you are anagami now, just like Chitta. You still have 5 other fetters. What are they? Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddacha, Avicca. Ruparaga means you still have desires to be reborn in material Brahma births, Ruparaga. You still have desires to be reborn in immaterial Brahma births, Arupavachara Brahma births. And then Ruparaga, Mana, you still have Mana. You still size up, measure. So that means even being an Anagami, Chitta Gahapati had some amount of Mana. That's why he could not forgive Venerable Sudama right away. Uddacha, restlessness, and avijja means ignorance. Until someone gets to Nibbana, avijja is still there, even with an anagami person. So this is how we understand that part. But later on, he forgave. Finally, true respect comes from inner qualities. The Buddha made clear that Chitta was respected not because of status or wealth, but because of his qualities, saddha, unwavering trust about Buddha Dhamma Sangha, generosity, dana, humility. This is very important for a lay person. Among Sangha members, definitely they have to be humble. What about lay people? The more you are going to be a part of a monastery, temple, membership, the more humble you should be. That is when inner transformation will quickly happen. But the more you associate spiritual things, if you're going to be, if you, the more become, the more you be, if you more become, what you call, very proud about what you are doing, consider about what you are doing, you will never be able to benefit from that practice. You are only spending time. You can say 20 years you've been doing this, but later on I am at the same place, just like how I started. The only difference is I did something physically, but inner transformation might not have happened. The more you humble, the more Dhamma will definitely transform in your life. That humbleness is very, just like the Bodhisattva in Mahayana. We know Mahayana Bodhisattvas are always saying, you go first, I support you. That supporting other people for the Dhamma path is also part of my Dhamma journey. Now that I go first, you go first, I support you. When I let you go first, it doesn't diminish anything of my life. That will help me to understand everybody carries Buddha nature, Bodhicitta, just like Samantabhadra and all these Avalokitesha. These Bodhisattvas are expecting every sentient being, how every sentient being should be in their Dhamma journey. So then let us work on inner transformation. Being humble, being down to earth is one of the very important things in that inner transformation, just like what Chitta Gahapati had, Saddha, Dana, Nivata, and wisdom. All right, so all in all, when we go back to the 2 stanzas, what we are going to learn here is that if we have an attitude with regard to what we have done, in this case, a Sangha member, enlightened, even this could even relate to a lay person. Having done a lot of good things, never ever always think that you want to show off, you want to brag that I am the force behind this incident, behind this success. That will diminish your kusala. That will make you become an unwise person because you will create icha and man, unwholesome desire, and then conceit. I think this is not what we need in our spiritual journey. If I know my own fetters, then why should I create fetters by doing good things, by doing temple things, by doing monastery things? I think if I look at 10 years of my practice, I mean, if you are a layperson, I should have quitted bad virtues. I should have been a better person compared to how I started my Dhamma journey. So this is how we have to think. All right, now we will take a few minutes for any questions if you've got with regard to today. Please raise your virtual hand if you have any questions. Any questions with regard to Chitta Gahapati and then the attitude of the 2 stanzas? even a spiritually working person can become unwise just because how they are engaging, how they are looking at what they have been doing, how they are reflecting what they have been doing. So we have to take extra caution with regard to how we interpret, define what we have been doing and what others should know and how others should know about what we have been doing. Any questions? Yes, Lisa, please.
Hello, Bhante. Could you just repeat the Chitta's final moments? And you mentioned 9 qualities of Buddha, 9 something.
No, they are not very new things. You know, when you chant, when you do the puja, you chant Itipiso Bhagavarahan Samma Sambuddha, Buddha Vandana. And you also chant Swakatu Bhagavatadam. And also you chant Supatipanno Bhagavat, right?
Yes.
So what do these 3 statements say? They are saying, if you look at Buddha Vandana, that Itipiso statement said Buddha possessed of 9 great qualities. Araham, Samma Sambuddha, Vijjacharana Sampanna, Sugata, Lokavidu, Anuttaro Purusa Dhammasarati, Sattade Manusana, Buddho Bhagava. So the more I understand what do these qualities mean from the Buddha's side, so the more the stronger saddha I'm creating with regard to Buddha. That is what Chitta asked his friends, relatives to think about just before he passed away. And then also he asked them to think about the 6 great qualities of the Dhamma: Swakato, Sanditiko, Akaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanaiko, Pachattangvitapo, Vinyuhi. 6 great qualities. At the same time, he also asked his friends and relatives to reflect upon why are the Sangha members possessed of 9 great qualities: Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, Nyayapatipanno, Samijipatipanno, and all that. So the more we understand these 24 great qualities, the more saddha, the proper saddha, normally saddha is very blind in some people. Saddha means I just say sadhu to everything. I mean, that is not our saddha. You understand why it's like sometimes in Sri Lanka, in a long time ago, same happening. Typical conventional Dhamma talk is happening. They have a habit of saying, when the word Buddha is mentioned by a monk, they are saying sadhu, 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 right? One day there was a Dhamma talk which is being given by a Sangha member saying, at that time, monk Devadatta threw a stone at the Buddha. They said, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I mean, why are you saying happy? Why are you being happy? Buddha was attacked by Venerable Devadatta, right? That means we don't know why we say sadhu too. So that's why we need the proper saddha to arise. Proper saddha will arise as long as you know what these 24 great qualities are. That's what Chitta Gahapati asks us, everybody of us. Don't worry about your last moments. If you develop a good understanding about these 24 great qualities, that will help you for the rest of your everything. Death, you don't have to worry about that. But what if you are going to think about, I want to be mindful, that stress will give you a hard time. And you don't know how mindful are you at that point. That's why Vipassana might not work at that point, because it's going to be a very tough time to you. But when it comes to Buddha, we all have a huge trust about him. We have no problem with regard to him. Dhamma, we have no problem with regard to Dhamma. Sangha members, not about your monks in the temple. The Sangha members means enlightenment. We have no problem with regard. We have a very good understanding, and we need to develop that. We can have this unshakable trust in a way. So this is what we are supposed to think all the time. In this thinking, one day we will die. So that means we die in the proper way, just like how Chitta advised us. Yeah, so that was what Chitta Gahapati said.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Any other question? Kat?
Bhante,
Yes, Melly. Yes.
Is anyone? Okay. Bhante, how would we know that we have unshakable trust? It cannot be something logical. I met people who tell me I have strong faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So how would we know? How do we test ourselves?
Okay. When people are to say that I have a strong trust about Buddha Dhamma Sangha, we have to understand that relatively. It's relative to somebody else, weak or strong state of trust. Uh, so what I suggest with regard to unshakable trust in Buddha Dhamma Sangha means that um, you can check by yourself whenever you are practicing Dhamma. If you get frustrated about, especially Sangha members, then you know you are not strong in that Sangha qualities. Something is missing in my trust. You have to work on that. Also, with regard to the Buddha, because we don't learn Buddha from a Buddha statue. So the more I learn about these 9 great qualities, then I can feel by myself that I have a stronger trust better than before. So it is a personal observation. So we don't have to look at it relatively, but people are happily saying, sharing that. It's good for them. We have to be happy, mudita thing, for them. But for me, for you, it is an internal observation. I can know, okay, there was a point that I did not trust that particular thing. Maybe I could not understand this and that. That means there is another way to understand that point about the Buddha. So, so we can do a self-observation with regard to seeing whether I have an unshakable trust. But the technically you are coming to unshakable trust only when you become a Sotapanna. That is the technical point. But you are looking at if you are to look at whether you are strong enough with regard to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, you can do a personal observation whether I have any moments in my life that I was frustrated about. I was taken away by certain incidents, certain moments of confusion with regard to Dhamma or any stories. So we can do that as a personal observation.
Thank
We
you.
don't have to compare to another person. When someone say, I have a stronger trust, so can we test that trust with my sadhana? We don't have to do that. The way how I trust about Buddha Dhamma Sangha should not be the way how you trust about Buddha Dhamma, because they have their own personal background. Yes. Yes,
Thank
Annie?
you, Bhante.
Yes, Padma.
Yes, Bhante. About this Visakha and Visakha, right? One is an Anagami, one is a Sotapanna. What is the difference between the two? Because the
Okay.
name is so close.
Okay, Visakha was a man, Visakha was a lady, right? So the difference is, in Buddhism teaches us that enlightenment is a process. Some people have to go through the process. Some people, they directly jump on to become an arahant. It depends on the personal process. So initially, someone is becoming a sotapanna by overcoming 3 fetters, sakkaya ditthi, vicikiccha, silabbata, paramas. And then, if conditions are good, that person also progress into the sakadagami nature, where the sotapanna person is going to reduce kamaraga patika, lust and then hatred. The person decreases or maybe diminishes kamaraga patika, but not fully. And then when conditions are met, that sakadagami person can attain anagami by fully overcoming kamaraga, lust and hatred. And if conditions are met in this life for the anagami person, he or she can also become an arahant. But some many anagamins here did not attain nibbana. They were reborn in a Brahma world, one of the 5 pure lands. That was the place where they became arahant. Make sense? Okay, we will take one more question. This was given to us in the chat, and then we will transfer the good karmas. Could you explain again the difference between good chanda, very interesting question. Now, in Abhidhamma, Abhidhamma talks about ethically neutral mental states. How are they called? They are called as pakinnaka. The Pali word is pakinnaka. P-A-K-I-N-N-A, Pakinaka. So Pakinakas, one of the Pakinakas is Chanda. So Chanda means it can be ethically positive, it can be ethically negative. Let's say I have Chanda Raga, that means Chanda has become unwholesome. But when it comes to right effort, you see, in the right effort, many sutta, Satya Vibhanga and many suttas, Mahachattarya, they say, Chandang janeti viryang arabhat chittam pagganhati padahati, right? Chandang janeti. The Arya Savaka, noble disciple, creates Chanda. For what? The noble's disciple creates Chanda to engage in more kusala or to decrease akusala. So that means Chanda is taken from a positive, morally positive context. But when it is said Chanda Raga, that means Chanda has gone out of the kusala, it has gone into an unwholesome state. So every time you see Chanda, it is for a good thing. Chanda Raga means it is for an akusala activity. Does it make sense? So we have to diminish Chanda Raga. All right, so with that, we are going to end our OPRC class by transferring good karmas. Once again, I want to summarize. Today, what we learned was that even the spiritually engaged people, with regard to their spiritual, maybe personal mistakes, they can even become unwise. So we don't have to worry about that. We just have to be compassionate, let them understand their issues. But we have to understand the spiritual status does not preclude anybody in not becoming an unwise. Anytime, any person can become unwise as long as the person is not enlightened in some ways. Chula Sotapanna or Sotapanna. That's why we have to hit the Sotapanna aspect at a certain point. Okay, this is what we did. So we have one more stanza to do with regard to Balavakka. Then we are heading on to Pandita Vakka. Let's talk about positive people, Panditas. So we plan to do that next week. So may all the good karmas we've been doing today be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Deva Nagamaitika. Receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us. Not even all of us, your family members, your children, grandchildren, everybody. All living beings, sentient beings in this whole universe. May the Devanaga Mahidika protect and bless them for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabedeva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhang tu sasanang. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhang tu desanang. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhang tumang parang chirang rakkhang tutwang sadati. Moving on to Dhammavish. Dhammavish once again is to wish for being surrounded with Kalyana Mittas. Maybe become Kalyana Mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsara camp. With this beautiful intention, we're going to make the Dhammavish. Imina punya kammina mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu Yavanimbana Patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making today throughout this OPRC class day 95 be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana Singis Nichang Vadha Pachaino Chattaru Dhamma Vadhanti Ayuvanu Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Atu Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samichatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant evening till we see you again next Thursday.
Thank
Have a
you,
good evening.
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Good night, Bhante. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Night.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night and take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night.
Good night,
Bhante.
Bhante. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bhante, can I
Yes.
ask one last question?
Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, you have taught us that only Buddha will know which disciple or which person has reached a certain stage in practice. But does that person himself know or become aware of his spiritual status? Or he doesn't know? Only Buddha knows.
It depends. It depends. Some know, some don't. The thing is that they don't declare.
I see.
That's the
But
thing.
they would know themselves. Of course, this such spiritual person would not declare, but they would be aware or they might not be aware.
Because declaring that I have a spiritual
Oh,
attainment
no.
can be
Yeah, a
problem.
defilement.
Yeah, because we don't
Yeah.
have to say if you are like that, you just continue.
Yes. So they just continue, even though they would know or they may not know, but whatever it is, they should just keep going forward.
They may know, but the reason why Buddha had to say that, Buddha was maintaining a membership assembly, so he had to organize his assembly. That's why he said. But others did not come up to say to the public. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night, everyone.
Saranai.
Good
Right.
night.
Good night.
Thank you.